Hello everyone, it's Amanda Pike from the Maternity Voice Partnership. I'm sure you're all getting used to seeing me now, but today I'm joined by Claire Brumby, who is from the Better Birth Lincolnshire team, and it's great to have you on today. Claire, do you want to tell us a bit about why we're here?
Good afternoon, Amanda and everybody else. My name is Claire Brumby. I work as part of the Better Birth Maternity Transformation team for Lincolnshire. This afternoon, we're hoping to give people a little bit of a background information about the new and fantastic, hopefully, Mum and Baby app that's coming soon to everybody. Yeah, that's what we do.
Yes, brilliant. So how did the idea for the app come about?
Collectively, there was a few reasons really. As an area, we needed to realise who was getting the information, who was being signposted to services, who was getting access to everything that we could offer people, who in the area. As we know, Lincolnshire is a very rural area, and not everybody, we were finding in certain times, were getting the same amount of information. So we really felt it was really important that every woman, every family could access the same amount of information, services, support as the next person. We knew we needed to up our game with the digital side of things. It was something that's very high on the agenda for this area in particular. We'd been doing some research on what apps were available to us, what could be financially viable, what could be used, what was high up on the sort of the recommended health apps that we could use. And basically we set out some surveys at the beginning of the year, some family surveys through Better Birth, through yourself, obviously with the MVP and neonatal parent voices, and try to do some digging really as to whether or not people would access an app, whether they would use a digital option as an information tool. And basically the feedback we got was unanimous. We did two different polls at two different stages, and the results were unanimous in the fact that they would definitely use a digital app. It's been proven through the various sort of forms of sort of information that we look at that people that use smartphones, it is the easiest way of accessing information. People use their smartphone that they're having in their handbag, in their coat, as they go out, far more than they would use a desktop screen now. And we know through just how much about our social media advertisements and things, how far they've reached in the fact of how people use them. People are on the go. They want to have something that's easy, that's just part of their day-to-day living. And as we know, everybody lives with a phone these days, so it is part of the normal life. And it's clear that we needed something for our Lincolnshire families, really.
That's great. So I've had a bit of a play with it, which I'll probably talk a bit about later, but do you want to tell everybody what kind of things it does?
Well, in a nutshell, I believe really, and I think quite a few people would agree with me, certainly from the team and the professionals that we've seen, and obviously yourselves and the limited members of the public that have actually looked at it at the moment. It offers choice, it offers personalisation, it offers all the things that we really want to try and get out there for our families now. We know that families need that accessibility. We know, like I've just said, they want easy access. They don't want to have to trawl through papers and papers of things, or take 15 minutes to find something which should, we know, be found under 2 or 3 clicks of an app. It offers a whole range of information. It covers all the services within our area. It's not just a maternity tool, it's not just a neonatal tool. It covers health visiting. It's about children's centres. It's about our what accessible services you can get from your GP service. It should be, in theory, an all accessible tool that your mother can pick up if they want to have a look at it. Your partner, your sister, your brother, whoever looks at this app should be able to access what they feel they need, and not everybody needs the same thing at the same time. And I think that's the part that we're trying to get at. We want to make sure that people can individualize their care, individualize their choices. And I think this tool will certainly help them on that journey of creating something that is meant for them.
Yeah. It's I mean, I've had a play with it myself, and I found it to be really interesting, and I think it's going to be a really useful tool for most people. I can't see, when you're pregnant, especially, you just want as much information as you can get, and it doesn't matter if it's your third or your fourth pregnancy, you're still interested,
Yeah.
and to have something in your hand that you can just, log onto at night in the dark when you've got nothing, you're trying to get to sleep, that sort of scenario is amazing. But also, when you've just left a midwifery appointment and you think, oh, I'd like to jot down that information myself somewhere else, doesn't have to be in your notes. And I just found it a complete rabbit warren of information. No matter where you go within it, it will take you somewhere else that has a mind of information, no matter what topic you want. I found it user friendly. There was smooth transitions from area to area. The links, loads of links that take you out to NHS websites, the Better Birth website, wherever it took you. It was really smooth and instant and quick, which I really appreciated, especially when you may want information quickly. I found that the categories were really intuitive, so they all linked into each other really well. There wasn't much, in fact I didn't find anything missing. I have only just had an initial play with it, and I know as we introduce it a bit more, it's going to grow. I've heard, so I'm sure you'll talk about that a bit more in a little while. But I just found it really user friendly, which I think is probably one of the most important things. I did notice, the only thing I did notice is that it says mum and baby, and I know that it's inclusive of everybody. So I wondered if you could talk a bit about why it's called mum and baby when we might have dads or grandparents using it.
Yeah, I mean, I think going through the things that you've just pulled out, I mean, we went for this particular app because it was one of the top 3 health apps that was recommended, and we wanted to do our research like that, in to try and get the best that we could for our families. It was co-designed with mothers, doctors, health visitors, families, partners, physiotherapists. So that I'm glad that does actually explain why you felt that at the moment there is nothing missing service wise, which is fantastic. That's what we're trying to achieve, that people can access whatever it is they might need at any given time. I mean, the app evolved in partnership with the Northwest London, and they're now in their 4th version of the app, so it's ever growing. This is a live app as such, and it will keep molding to how we feel that we need it to go. We were lucky in that when we contacted Imagineer, which is the specialist app developers who deal with Mum and Baby app, that they were keen to give us a bespoke version for Lincolnshire, which is especially why we went for this. We wanted as much of our services that was particularly relevant to our families into the app. Now, it will have a lot of information that stems from Northwest London, and that's just because it's where it originated from. However, in any given area, section, breakdown, section of the app, we will have the relevant signposting and services within Lincolnshire for our families. So it's hopeful that as we move forward, as we launch it, as we gather more feedback from professionals and from all of our families that are hopefully going to use this app shortly, that it will grow. It will become even better than it is now. So it's a work in progress. The content that it has in it at the moment is a starting block, and we will hopefully go from strength to strength to create something that eventually will be as and what everybody wants it to be. And that's professionals and families alike, so that we're in tune with each other and we actually have the information there that everybody needs and that we can easily access it.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. As far as the term mum and baby, that is the original name that was chosen for the app. So although I appreciate it, it's traditional, let's say, in its sense of how it's termed. I think going forward, it's an information tool at the end of the day. It's something that we can signpost people to. So it's not just women, it's not just not even just partners, it's anybody. That it's an information tool that anyone can have access to, and there is no sort of there is nobody that's outside of that
No.
family.
Yeah.
Anyone can access it. It's just a name, which I know
Yeah.
in the short term can divide some and alienate others. So I appreciate that to a certain extent it might not be the first thing that somebody goes to. However, I think if you have confidence in us as a Better Birth team, as yourselves as the MVP, and we want the best for all of our families, and that means any member of the family.
Yeah.
Wherever,
I mean, one of our MVP volunteers is a dad,
Mhm.
and he had a look at it, and I mentioned the name to him, and he said, actually, I just want the information. So, as long as he was getting the information, he didn't care what the app was called. But I thought I'd just mention it in case people did question it, because it's always better to be transparent and chat about what, the reasons as to
Yeah,
why decisions have been made from the people that have created it. So,
yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
that's
I think
great.
it's a very valid comment, especially, now in our current climate. I think we are always trying to push things forward and be more current. And
Yeah.
I think the issue is that there isn't an issue. I
Yes,
think the fact is, like
definitely.
you say, it's an information tool, and we are promoting it
Yes.
for everybody. And this
Yes,
isn't
most
just about
certainly.
women; it's
Yeah.
about families. Because at the end of the day, the care should be around the family.
Yeah.
Care should be closer to home. We need people to access it that are in support of those families, whoever that may
Yeah.
be.
There's something else I noticed about it that I thought would be really handy for families as they're using it was, often you're searching online for information. Let's say you want to stop smoking and you want to do it the best way possible, and you want accurate information given to you. Well, this app is so easy. It's in your hand. You know that it's been backed by the NHS and the information is all accurate. And so in just a couple of clicks, because I noticed, I think if you go into one of the categories that's called in your pregnancy, you click onto health and well-being, and there's a mind of information and all the
Yeah.
different things you might be interested in, whether it's stopping smoking, but that goes for the entire app. If you've got a question about when you might have an appointment, it's all in there. And I just think the fact that you've got it in your pocket on hand and it's trustworthy is amazing. And I think hopefully, if I'm right, I think it will be really
You are.
valued. Yeah, I
I
think it's
mean,
going to be really valued.
I think we can only hope for the best, and I think this app is a testament to those people that have put time and hours and effort into creating
Yeah,
something for families. It
yeah,
isn't. It's led professionally by the content in that we want to get the best out of what we know for the families to access. But it's not. It's a co-designing project. It
yeah,
is it's produced with the people that actually need these services, that want these services, that need access to signposting. And that's the whole point of it. We are all
yeah,
about co-production and trying to investing in the families in the same way they invest in us. And I think
yes,
that's the most important part.
it
Um,
really is.
yeah, and then we've got research that suggests that people need this. They want this. They want to be able to access something from
Yeah,
their sofa, from their living room when they're breastfeeding, from
yes,
in the middle of the night when they're having some dark hours and they need access and they feel they want help. They want
yeah.
the private side of it, the confidentiality side of having an app. These are all the things that we're fed back from families that people want. So it's hoped that this is going to deliver at least on some of those. And
Yeah.
like I say, it's a work in progress. It can be tweaked, it can be changed. The content is going to be constantly updated as and when
Mm.
we know that things change as far as guidance is concerned. And I think whatever feedback we get, we can try and work towards it. I can't
Yeah.
promise that we're going to change everything that people might want changing, because that would just be not true. But what I can promise is that we will listen and that we will try our best to accommodate where we can.
Yes. And what more can you ask for when something's new? I
Yeah,
think families will appreciate the fact that we're trying something new, and it's hopefully going to be a useful tool, because I mean, something else that popped into my mind as you were speaking, you can fill in your birth plans yourself. So let's say you live somewhere else and you're moving into the county,
Yeah.
And you don't have your notes with you. If you've popped everything that you need in there, you've got your own set that you can take somewhere, to your new midwife, which I think is so useful in the current climate, especially,
Absolutely.
when accessing information may not be as easy, as it used to be. So there's so many uses for the app, and I think really well done for implementing it and getting it off the ground, because I know you put loads of hard work in, because the amount of Lincolnshire information you've needed to put into it, bless
Well, I
you.
think that's a team effort. It's definitely not a one-person job.
Oh
It's a
yeah.
team effort, and we've all come together on it because I think we all believe in it. So I think that's half the battle, isn't it? And hopefully, the people that gain access to it, and that once it's launched, we will hopefully get positive feedback. It will be balanced. I'm sure nothing is ever right for everybody, whatever it is. But we will do our best to make it as good as we can.
Yeah. And it's actually got an area in it, hasn't it, for giving feedback on the app?
It has, yes, absolutely. You can give feedback directly to the app creators. You can also give feedback via our means, as it were. So from PAL's perspective, or to Better Births or the MVP. So depending on which way people want to give their feedback, it could be anonymous. It doesn't have to be named. It can simply be, every piece of feedback is a help towards pushing it forward and progressing. Change is always about listening to others and trying to accommodate those on balance and trying to take them forward as best we can. Once the professionals involved, from midwives to nurses to health visitors, we're trying to work towards getting all that information out there now to those professionals that are going to be using this tool with the women and the families that it's for. Because obviously we all need to work together with this. It isn't a one person stop. We all need to come together to use it, to work our way around it, to navigate the different areas, and hopefully together we'll make it the best we can.
Yeah, we will indeed.
Okay.
Well, I think that's everything. That we've covered quite a lot there, and I'm sure as we go on, we might have more events where we talk to you about it, or we want to hear more from you. And we'll just, if you can follow the Better Birth Lincolnshire page where you are now, and the Lincolnshire Maternity Voice Partnership, I've popped the links for our pages in the description of this video. If you can follow us there, you'll always keep up to date. And as Claire said, if you've got any questions, any feedback, send them in, whether it's via the app once it's live and you've all got it, or before, whenever. If you've got any questions as well, any questions about the app, send them in to us. You can still pop them into the comments of this box and we can go back and answer them later. That's absolutely fine. If we don't know the answer, we might have to go away and find out. But I know Claire will try her best to get back to you.
I will.
And other than that, I just want to thank you for your time and listening all about our new Mum and Baby app. And thank Claire so much for coming on to explain, because I know we've not even covered half of what that app does.
No, and I think if we sat here and did that, we'd be here for days. But it covers a huge amount. I mean, there's a vast amount of information out there. One thing I will say is that we are hoping to launch next month. That's our plan. So we are already in the throes of pushing out all the information to the organisation, to the various services, to try and get the professionals, for starters, up and running with what we're trying to achieve. Obviously, the conversation has already been out there with the organisation and professionals alike. However, we need to now get that concrete thing in place. So until we've done all that, we won't, officially launch the date, but it is hoped that it will be early in December, so early next month. So we haven't got long left. So we're in all that progress now, and in theory, it will go according to plan.
Yes. And it will be all over all of our Facebook pages as soon as you know about it.
It'll be everywhere. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, you name it, we will be promoting it and we will be pushing it out. We're hoping that women gain access and the first sort of introductory side of this once they come and visit their midwives in their first appointment. So once they've done their self-referral or been and seen their midwife in person, however which way they wish to, announce they're pregnant,
Yeah.
they will be then given the option to download the app and go from there. Really. So any questions,
Brilliant.
please feel free to put on any of those different things that Amanda's just suggested.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant. Thank you. Well, thanks for your time, everybody, today.
Thank you, Amanda.
Oh, no problem at all. Always a pleasure. It's great to have somebody from Better Births on. We'll have to get the rest of the gang on soon for something else.
Yes.
They're probably all in the comments box like, oh, that'd be great though. Just one thing before I go, I noticed that Better Births have put a call out for any feedback from anybody, whether you are a mum, a dad. We need feedback because we need to know, you know, the good, the bad, and the indifferent to see how we can help implement change. So just send it into Better Births. It can be anonymously. Don't worry about that. And I know that they'd love to hear from you, as would the MVP. Okay, take care for now, and great to have you on. Thanks so much, Claire.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.